With me, I have the CEO of Oasmia Francois Martelet.
Morning.
Morning. Welcome to this interview, Francois. Oasmia just announced two bits of news this morning. The plan to raise 151 million SEK and the plan to change the name of the company to Vivesto. Let's get back to that, but first, could you give us a quick introduction? What is Oasmia, your key strengths, and the goal to expand the pipeline?
Right. Yes, of course. So we are a specialty pharma company focused on oncology. We have fundamentally two lines of businesses. On one side, we have an R&D line, research and development, consisting of an emerging oncology portfolio with two programs. And then on the other side, we have, and we are quite proud of that, we have so-called a commercial line because we have one product approved in Europe in ovarian cancer called Doxetaxel micellar. And we have licensed out this product to a company based in the US, Elevar, who has in turn, licensed it out in Europe to Inceptua, which is a private company responsible for the launch of Apealea in Europe. So this is, and then on the other side, we have our technology platform that we call that XR17. This is a solubilization platform for small molecules that was the basis for the elaboration and the production of Apealea, but we are also working with other compounds as well. So this is what Oasmia is all about. I joined the company about 18 months ago. We really went through not only a turnaround process, but most importantly, a transformation process. We've changed the management team, we've changed the board, we have certainly also refined the strategy. Oasmia was a kind of a CDMO biotech company. Now we are a specialty pharma focused on oncology. Tomorrow we will be a Nordic oncology powerhouse. This is the future, right? And how do we achieve that? I will come back to that in a minute, through a string of pearl strategy.
And if we look at the financing plan, can you tell us a bit more on the plan to raise the funds that we just talked about?
Right, so we will carry out a right issue of 150 million SEK in order to cover our expenses, and I will come back to that as well, for the next 18 to 24 months. So what will be the use of proceeds? Well, fundamentally to fund our operations, I mean business development, finance, etc. This is one pot of for the use of proceeds. The other source for the proceeds will be for our clinical programs, Cantrixil and Doxetaxel micellar. Cantrixil, we are very excited about this product. We will be using the proceeds in order to initiate the phase 2, and hopefully, within the next 24 months, we could get to potentially some interim results, but that's one part. For Doxetaxel micellar, we will be ending the first phase 1b, the enrollment process, and then potentially look at a future trial. And then with the platform technology, we are working at upgrading it because, of course, for IP reason, intellectual property reason, we would need to upgrade our platform, and we will call that XR18, moving from XR17 to 18. So this is fundamentally the way we are planning to use our funds for developing and for our current operations, and not for M&A activities.
And also, you're proposing to changing the name of the company to Vivesto. What's the reason for this, and why the name Vivesto? Yeah,
so Vivesto, viv means life in Spanish, and esto, this. So this is his life. And of course, when you work for an oncology company, there is no better name than trying to improve the survival of your patients through your drugs, through your compounds, and therefore we've been selecting this name. We've been working with the Brand Institute in London, very famous for that, and we've been also getting some very positive ratings on this name from various type of customers.
You touched on your pipeline there, but could you just walk us through a bit more regarding the pipeline at this point? So if we start with Apealea.
Yeah, Apealea, so let's say two sides of it. One is the commercial launch through Intervju in Europe. UK and Germany will be the first markets to be launched. This will be a sequential type of launches in Europe. So we'll be hoping, to get obviously royalties and milestones out of this major launch in Europe. And then in the US, this is in the hands of our partner Elevar. And for competitive reasons, they are not disclosing the precise clinical trial design, nor the time frame. But obviously, this will be made known to the public at one point in time. So this is basically for Apealea.
Okay, and if we look at Cantrixil?
Yeah, Cantrixil, two sides as well. So Cantrixil is a compound that will be used intraperitoneal, okay, for advanced ovarian cancer patients. Patients who relapse to ordinary drugs and compounds, okay? And we are planning to initiate the phase 2. Now, we had very good phase 1b results. We have licensing in this compound from a small company based in Australia called Acacia Therapeutics. We have global rights, and the phase 1b data were confirmed later on after we acquired it, and was confirmed at a major congress called AACR, and also the data were published in Cancers, which is one of the famous journals in the oncology sector. So we are planning, I would say that there is a state of readiness, okay, that we need to achieve before we can launch the phase 2. That means validating the clinical design with the authorities. This is extremely important, There is we should never rush on this. So, we want to have a validated clinical trial program validated by the FDA, by EMA, by other regulatory bodies as well. So this is one. Two, the manufacturing. It's quite a complex process to manufacture this drug because it's a small molecule, and the purification is one critical step in the whole thing. So we need to have a very solid supply chain. So that's the reason why it takes some time, and we want to be absolutely on the safe side of it as well. We have also been able to gather a global advisory board with Cantrixil on ovarian cancer, consisting of the best leaders in the world, US, Europe, to advise us, on how and the way to develop this drug further. So that's Cantrixil, very exciting. The other side of Cantrixil is that we're planning to develop it through our platform research, make it an IV drug, intravenous, because obviously IV is more convenient than IP. So that's the reason why we're also excited, because the molecule is not very soluble, and through our technology platform, we can certainly increase the solubility of the drug, therefore allowing an IV formulation to be developed.
And if we look at Doxetaxel, could you please elaborate a bit on that one?
Doxetaxel micellar, very exciting compound as well. So Doxetaxel has become generic. This is coming out of a very famous brand called Taxotere, multi-billion dollars drug before it went generic. And we are developing a better formulation, a formulation that will produce less side effects. But this is early stage of development. So we've been approached by a cancer Swiss group, cancer research group called SAC. And that group, they wanted to take our drug and basically develop it further. So we have a study running as of today in Switzerland, 3 centers. We have 18 patients to be enrolled, and they are planning to end the enrollment process of Doxetaxel micellar by year end. Okay, and then we will look at a follow-up trial, depending on the outcome, of course. So this is Doxetaxel micellar.
And if we look at the last one, XR18.
Yeah, XR18 is the solubilization platform, okay? So we hopefully will be able to announce fairly shortly some results around that. This is an upgrading of the platform. We have also identified a compound that would work fairly well with this new upgraded platform technology, but we are at an early stage in the research, but still some significant progress we are making with our solubilization platform.
And if we look at the revenues from Apealea, I think many investors might have expected some revenue at this point. What should investors realistically expect from this?
Right. Yes, I know there is a delay in the launch of Apealea, no doubt about it. I don't want to avoid this. When we worked, when it was approved, the company at that time, I wasn't there, was planning to launch it on their own, and then we were hit by the pandemic situation, in 2020, and therefore that certainly change our mindset. And when we license out, that was one of the reasons why we license out Apealea to Eleva, because they have more capabilities. They are more, certainly they're more strengths, more muscles to launch it. But the important piece is that although there is a delay, patients will get access to Apealea, paclitaxel micellar, this year. And why it is so important? Because this product does generate less side effects, and is targeted at patients who are not able to tolerate paclitaxel. And there are quite many, that are experiencing neuropathy, for instance, a number of difficult side effects. And paclitaxel micellar is, paclitaxel is a very famous drug. This is Taxol before it became generic, and we really have significant hopes that patients and physicians will be helpful by this administration of paclitaxel micellar, which, by the way, reduce the overall what we call the chair time. So physicians can treat more patients in one single day with paclitaxel micellar as opposed to paclitaxel. And the side effect is also reduced. So it's a win-win,
I think you mentioned earlier there the string of pearls approach to expanding your portfolio. Could you please talk a little bit, what's the plan with this?
Yeah, so when I joined the company, as I said earlier, CDMO, Oasmia was a kind of a CDMO company. Now we are a specialty pharma focused on oncology. Tomorrow we will be a Nordic oncology powerhouse. How to achieve that? Well, we need to build a diversified pipeline with the different mechanism of actions for hard to treat and late stage cancer. And the only way to do it is basically through either licensing in or M&A. And Cantrixil was the first compound of this string of pearls strategy. But of course, we need to do more. We need to have the string of pearl a reality in 2022. And this is what I'm working at. And that would also be another stepping stone for the company.
Sounds like a lot is planned for 2022 then.
Yeah.
What will Oasmia look like in the end of the year?
Right. Clearly, on Apealea, we will get revenues from the deal that we have with Eleva/Inceptua, meaning royalties and milestones. So this is one. Two, we do hope that Eleva will be able to get other partners, like in China, with our drug. Three, we are working clearly with Doxetaxel micellar, Cantrixil, so Doxetaxel micellar end of the phase 1, looking for the next step. Cantrixil initiation of the phase 2. And then improving the technology platform, moving from XR17 to XR18. So this is, and of course, the string of pearls. That will be the major thing that we will be working on.
Excellent. Thanks a lot, Francois, for
You're
taking
welcome.
the time to answer our questions. Thank you.
Thank you.